the West Highland Way, 96 miles from Milngavie-Glasgow through the Highlands and ending in Fort William. Me and my dad would be taking this challenge on in the last week of March 2026. Our plan was to finish in 7 days. We will be camping, battling the elements, meeting the locals, enjoying the views and having a few pints along the way. After touching the starting point, we said goodbye to my wee nephew.
Enzo, say bye-bye.
Say bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Who didn't care. Bye-bye. The plan for today was to walk 11 miles and camp in Drymen.
Smile.
One's time. After walking for 4 miles, we got some motivation. 92 miles left. After a pretty easy day, we managed to get lost about a mile from the campsite. We then proceeded to get lost again. After we finally found where we were going, we headed up the hill towards Drymen camping. After checking in, we started to get our tent set up. I had only built this tent once before in my grand's back garden, so my dad had to give me a hand.
Basically, I've changed.
After the tents were built, we decided to take a walk down to the local pub.
I think he was working out. You know, the rope just have swing across your body. Yeah.
We decided that 2 beers was probably enough, so we headed up the road just in time for the rain starting.
Cheers.
After making it back to the campsite, we got our dinner ready. I'm not gonna lie, this actually wasn't too bad.
See it in the camera.
See you tomorrow. We packed away our tents and had our porridge. The plan for day 2 was to walk from Drymen over Connick Hill and camp in Cashel. With the weather looking not bad, we headed off. After walking for a few miles, we stopped off at the base of Kinlochleven for some lunch, where my dad decided to try and cook his own hand for lunch, and I showed my concern.
Yum. How many miles have we been? Just over 5 miles on it.
Still got that to clean. Piece of cake. As we started to climb the hill, my dad got his priorities right. Easy.
There's a poultry over that hill.
With that being said, we headed off up the hill. Just a bit windy. Never ending path, isn't it? After reaching the highest point, I decided to leave my bag with my dad and head up to the summit, just to say I'd done it. Much easier without a bag on you. Made it. Good day for flying a kite. After making it to the top, I made my way back down to my dad a lot quicker than I went up.
I feel like Usain Bolt now.
We then proceeded to head down the hill because my dad said he was buying the first round. This new path that they'd just put in was pretty horrible to walk on, to be honest with you, and it was a lot harder than on the way up. After making it to the bottom, my dad's promise had came true. Easy.
There's a poultry over that hill. Cheers.
After a light lunch and a few beers, we caught this woman's attention.
How far did you go?
To Fort William.
Are you walking to Fort William now?
Well, no. We left yesterday from just outside Glasgow,
Yes.
and then we stayed in Drummond, and then Drummond to here. So we're going to go about another 3 miles, and then camp,
In this weather, camping outside.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Thank you. Thank you.
Enjoy.
And after a nervous laugh, we headed off into the rain. And I instantly started moaning. It's not what you want after a burger, innit? But with it shaping up to be a nice afternoon, we carried on. The original plan this night was actually a wild camp a wee bit further up, but we had seen reports on the weather app saying that it was going to be windy and pretty snowy, so we decided otherwise, so we jumped into Cashel campsite.
Dinner.
As we were making dinner, my dad's phone gave me a notification,
Oh, snow starting in 15 minutes.
Snow.
which was great, just what you wanted.
Brilliant. Oh, nice. Smells like carbonara. It tastes like it. It's actually alright. It's not bad, eh?
This is a dinner set up. Spaghetti carbonara. Delicious. The next morning I woke up fresh as a daisy, as you can tell. I thought my watch was playing a prank on me when it said rest day. This was funny because today was actually going to be one of the longest days, from Cashel up to Inverrowin, 19.5 miles. I'm glad we chose to go to Cashel that night, because as you can probably hear from the clip, it had gotten very windy during the night. Just as we were getting ready to head off, the weather started to brighten up.
different, but
Spirits were pretty high at this point. The weather had begun to change from the morning, but little did we know what we had in store for us the rest of the day.
Now it's snowing. Four seasons in one day. Clansman.
After stopping off for a quick refill at the bottom of Ben Lomond, which was very much needed to be honest with you, we continued on. We then stopped off at one of the places that I was honestly most looking forward to.
I'm buzzing. Morrison's on it. Cheers, Ben.
After eating half a Ben's honesty box, we made it to a pivotal point, which is where you can either take the high road
Amazing.
or the low road. We had been warned that morning that the low road would probably be a bit dangerous because of the weather.
that's the high road. This is the low road. And then
So we had a quick stop to have a look at it on the map
Join
and
up
decide what we
again.
wanted to do.
no.
But obviously, we decided to do it anyway.
So, well, do you keen to do the low one? Yeah.
Up for it?
Yeah.
If we fail, blame it on me, right?
Obviously our egos were feeling pretty big at this point, and being told that it was going to be shut for 3 months made me really want to do it, so we did. After joining up to where the high road would have took you, we were pretty happy that we had done the low road.
Easy peasy.
And honestly, it wasn't even that bad. There was a few up and downs and a couple of wee tricky bits, but nothing too hard.
Snow back on again.
After feeling pretty confident after taking on the low road, this was the hardest bit of the whole day. It honestly went on like this for miles, and it was a real struggle carrying pretty much 20 kilograms on your back. We had watched a lot of YouTube videos about this bit and talked to a lot of people, but it just did not do it justice. It was hard. After reaching the Inversnaid Hotel, we kind of figured we probably had about 2 and a bit hours left, we were hoping, but it didn't really turn out that way.
Stuck.
After being on the move for 7 hours, we were still feeling okay, and as we could see the end of Loch Lomond, we were starting to think that we were coming to the end of it, but we were actually miles off.
Was that the Beinglas-Tyndrum Hotel?
We had met an older Australian couple back at the Inversnaid Hotel, and the woman thought that she would only have an hour left, but after walking for about an hour and a half we realised that she was absolutely miles off it. The path was pretty much like this the whole way along the loch. You don't realise how slow this actually makes you walk. Looking back on the loch and the distance that you'd covered, thinking you've not got long to go, but still not seeing any sort of civilization in sight ahead. And as it started to get dark, we finally made it to Beinglas campsite. This meal and the 2 pints that we had in there were honestly a struggle to get down, as you can tell by my face.
Oh shit, here we go again.
The next morning, we both were feeling it a wee bit, but we managed to get ourselves up, get a bacon roll in us and head off. The plan for day 4 was to go Inverrannan to Tyndrum.
I'm not doing too many of them today. As we headed towards Falls of Fallock, it reminded me of a nicer, sunnier day. Falls of Fallock? Yes, I'm my boy! Don't fancy jumping in the day. You know if my bag will fit. After being pretty sore and tired that morning, we were starting to come round again and enjoy ourselves. Spirits were a bit higher the day because my dad had told me that he hadn't booked a campsite for the next one, he'd actually booked a pod with a shower, so I was absolutely buzzing. After walking for a few hours, we decided to stop and have some lunch. My mum had actually gave me and my dad these mug shots, and I actually laughed when she gave us them, but they were an absolute lifesaver, to be honest with you. After checking into the pod, the first thing we did was put the chase on.
Correct. The UK Supreme Court has how many members?
This kid on this isn't my first. Another one.
I mean, the same that I think when I looked earlier on it.
That night we dried all of our wet clothes and watched Wales not qualify for the World Cup.
Smile.
In Australia.
How like you?
The plan for day 5 was to walk 18 miles from Tyndrum to Glencoe. As the weather began to turn, I've honestly never felt rain like this. The bad part about this stretch is there's not a lot of trees or cover, as you can see, so you're pretty much just open to the elements. As we came into Bridge of Orchy, my dad tried to make a friend, but he didn't like the look of him. We were feeling pretty good this day despite the weather, after our night inside and a warm shower.
We stopped off at the Inverrannon Hotel. It wasn't actually open yet because it was too early in the season, but the guy was nice enough to open up the shop for us to get some lunch. This part of the trip was pretty remote, but it also had some of the best views we'd seen so far. As the snow and the wind began to pick up, we were glad that back at Inverrannon Hotel we'd actually booked another pod for tonight, because I did not want to camp in this. Hobbit hole. Hey! My God! We were pretty glad the next morning that we'd booked that pod, because the wind absolutely battered our pod that night, so I couldn't imagine what it would have done to a tent. The plan for day 6 was to walk 10.5 miles from Glencoe to Kinlochleven for our last night. Even though it was a shorter day for us, we still had to take on the Devil's Staircase, the highest point in the West Highland Way. And it didn't help that it was covered in ice and snow. I marched ahead at this point of my dad, and when I got a wee bit higher than him, I gave him some encouragement by chucking snowballs at him. Even though it was a struggle in the snow, some of the views from the top were unbelievable. We then headed down the hill towards our campsite. Apparently this campsite can get pretty busy in the summer, but at this point it was literally just me and my dad here. That night we had one of the best meals of the whole trip, from rice and chips in Kinlochleven. And then followed it up with some pints, obviously. The next morning we woke up a bit hungover and in a puddle, but we were still buzzing because it was our last day. The plan for the last day was 15.5 miles from Kinlochleven to Fort William to finish. We felt pretty good this day and the weather was looking not bad either. That's until we reached the top of this hill and it changed drastically. The weather in this valley was honestly unbearable, but a couple of times we just had to stop and sit down just to try and get out of the wind. We could tell we were getting close as the snow-capped mountain in the back was Ben Nevis. As we walked down the hill into Fort William and up the high street, we made it to the Sore Feet statue and finished.
Well done, guys.
Well done, guys.
This was probably one of the hardest things I've ever done, and it was really challenging at times, and the weather was not kind to us at all. But it was honestly still one of the best things I've ever done, and being able to do it with my dad made it even more special. So I would highly recommend it to anybody that wants to do it to definitely go and do it.
Delivered. Oh, we claimed that there was nothing in it.
Smile.
Your right foot next to the second. You're now facing